why politicians want these people that can't do the job. They do bring the people that they believe they can do the job, and those people they still do. I think somehow we still have to retreat and find out the way how people can finish, be supported, be helped, because what worse it does, it hurts the organization and it breaks down the organization as we see now, because nobody stays there to understand and take the organization through. But there is an issue, honorable member, about national commissioners rather than the national commissioners that were never police. Even those that were police, there are serious problems about it.
You're absolutely right. I'd quite forgotten about Mkhwanazi, who I think is heading towards jail. He's been arrested, he and his crew, for looting at the crime lab. So you're right, absolutely right. I've just often wondered, when people have been put in who are particularly weak, whether it was deliberate or not, in order to allow certain things to slide within the system. Certainly under Ria Pierre, that seemed to be the case. So I know you've touched on it today, but were you surprised? I thought you and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had a good relationship. Were you surprised when this allegation that he's now withdrawn sort of came out the left field at you?
Surprised when it was made, or surprised
when it was made?
Surprised?
When it was made.
I was surprised. I was surprised because I knew that the thing doesn't come close to anything that has happened. For instance, as I've said, that one bottom line on this one is that I've never sent anybody, and you see something that you are so sure of it, and himself could have checked back. If he says, I've sent the message to somebody, he could have checked back, but this person have never sent message from me since we knew each other in 2009. We have not. How would, on a short space of time, begin to do those things and all that? But this is a point I take, that human beings are fallible.
Sure.
And I'll live with that. That sometimes human beings are fallible, honorable member, and I'll accept that.
Yeah, you've held both positions, and I think you're probably the only person who has been both the National Police Commissioner and the Minister. I know I was hard on you and on Ria Pierre and Mkhwanazi, all of them, but as a minister then, were you surprised, and have you been surprised at some of the ministerial appointments that have been made, with Nathi Mthethwa, and we're talking somehow Richard Mluli being brought back by him time and again, and Marikana and Nhlanhla Gate, Nathi Nhlanhla with his fire pool nonsense. He didn't last very long. Fikile Mbalula only lasted 1 year. So where would you rate yourself in amongst that lot as your job as a minister that you achieved?
Question. If I were a soccer player and I'm a striker, I would rate myself by scoring the goals. It would be easy. The first minister was Professor Mkhwanazi. The second one was Chwete. Third one was Nhlanhla. The fourth one was Mthethwa. And then after Mthethwa was Nhlanhla, was Mbalula, was who is not there? Then was Cele. Not Cele. Chairperson, I don't know if I can really answer this question. I've read myself as a minister. I think the most time I enjoy here was when I was a national commissioner. Whoever I send there, if we get an opportunity and president say choose between being a commissioner or choose to be a commissioner, that is a roller coaster kind of the work, and you can easily measure crime stats, the response of the human beings, and all that. I will request to jump chair on rating myself and allow South Africans and the rest of the people to judge me on that.
I'm sure they will. You have agreed that today the SAPS, there's a lot of factions fighting crime intelligence, all of them are in a catastrophic situation, compared perhaps to how it was when you were the National Police Commissioner. In your opinion, what could be done to pull it all together, to show our citizens that they need not fear the police, but that criminals must fear the police? Because today, currently, our citizens fear the police and the criminals laugh at them. How would you tackle that? How would you turn the tables and turn this back into a police service that we could actually be proud of?
Jabez, only remember you used the term catastrophic. I think in Zulu Nhlanhla is something very, very serious. Not only that, and sad. I don't know how much pain I share as I sit there and I look Commissioner writing affidavit against the Deputy National Commissioner and all that, Mkhwanazi coming on the platform, lambasting everybody. Immediately after that, Spear coming, Spear going home, the police are in his house. It's just, I don't think if it were a move, I would finish it. It's a terrible thing. And I would be lying if I sit here and I say what should be done to fix the situation. I know it's a disastrous situation. It needs to be fixed together and all that. You know, I watched few days ago the discussion on how much South Africans have been scammed by the scammers, very professional scammers out there. But you say, okay, where do you go with these South Africans? There is no head of Hawks, there is no head of intelligence, there is no deputy National Commission of Detectives, and these are the things that these people who are scammed is a place that they should be running to. It doesn't exist. I hope and I wish that the president literally leads his government and the cabinet on finding the solution quick on this matter. Is a matter for government now. Yes. I hear that Judge Meyer was talking about requesting Judge Letwaba to go and stay home because of 2.5 million accusation of bribe from Mlife. This is a judge now. I'm not talking about magistrate or prosecutor. Your chief of prosecution in Gauteng is home, is to be investigated. Aibo. So I think somebody somewhere must find a solution, and the solution must be quick. Otherwise, South Africans are going to run helter-skelter.
I agree. Last question from me. Let's talk about Cato Manor for a moment. You know them all very well. The still surviving members, because some have died, of the Cato Manor crew. Well, we heard in the Zondo Commission that there was a meeting between, of course, history has shown that those people who lost their salaries, their jobs, their lives, and were branded with the M for murderers on their foreheads, basically, were all innocent. They were cleared by the courts. And I was saddened when the Lieutenant General told us he didn't really recall much about it because it was his decision to go ahead and join in that political decision to close the unit and arrest everyone. And in fact, the courts have just started paying them out because they're all suing the SAPs for many, many millions. I believe you might have handled it differently had you been in charge. Your thoughts, please.
Jefferson, I said yesterday, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is a good cop, but he has faults, and I said some of his faults are serious. That is one of the serious faults that he committed. I don't care who says what. I'll go anywhere. That's my belief and what I see. I see, that's the way I see that what happens. But one thing that is not said, when General Mkhwanazi was here, he raised the issue of him having problem with former Minister Mthethwa, may his soul rest in peace, and President Zuma. He did not tell that initially there were parties with Minister Mthethwa, they caused this disaster together.
Yeah.
They caused the disaster. So there was a time when they were together and they caused the disaster. I don't know when they realized that one is wrong. This Carton Manor thing was a part of the Hawks. And the structures that deal with the misbehavior of the police and all that they could do. But weighing, putting on the scale, their successes and what they did for the people of South Africa was huge.
Yeah.
Chairperson, there was zero cash heist in KZN under that team. Zero. Taxi industry took the line. Criminals, there was a situation that there was a saying that if you want to commit crime, get away out of that province and do it somewhere. There was a saying said,